During my childhood days, I came across this series called as The Amazing World of Gumball. It is an unique series because it was all over the place, a lot of weird things were happening, and for a kid like me, such thing was very interesting. So I have watched some multiple episodes, but the one that I remember the most is when Gumball and Darwin are in this bus, where this bus is taking them into picnic with their fellow students, fellow classmates, and the monkey teacher is giving them instruction where to go and where not to go. And she clearly stated that you not go to this skull island. Even if you're not stating it by looking at it, you know that you shouldn't, but this dumbasses can't figure that out. And when she was explaining that, they were already half baked for some reason. And when the bus stops and all the guys are getting up and going up to the road that the monkey is leading them to go, these guys get up late and get up last and late. So they don't know that these guys have already left and they don't know which line to which path to take because there are two paths. Which clearly you can see that you have to go to this sunshine and rainbow path and not this devil. Maybe they wanted to be interesting, I guess, or they think that life is a plot twist and the plot twist is that this is the good thing. I don't know, but they went there and so this guy's like, no, this is the path, yes. And Darwin is like, yes, I believe you. Like he's believing so much more than married couples that I've seen. Anyways, they go in that forest, and long story short, they get lost and they're hungry. They think that they should hunt because we're in the wild, we should hunt, kind of shit. And there they came across this abomination of a deer, which I really remember well because that's the one of the scene that I still remember it, even though it's been like what 15 years, 16 years, because it seems like a meat canyon drawn it. That is this year. I mean, he can draw more horrendous shit, but yeah, this year it is like very rememberable, if that's the word. I don't know English. And that's like the starting. Then they try to when they see his face, they get scared, so they get run up and they try to eat this guy. Try to eat a worm, but Darwin is like, that's not like you, that's not who you are, something like that, And the Gumball's like, yeah, you're right, Darwin, here you go, buddy. And they let him hop on his path, and while he was going, he gets snatched by a flying monster, and that flying monster gets snatched by another monster, which gets snatched by a bigger monster, and which gets snatched by a bigger monster, like a cycle. So this was a really like a crazy episode that got me into watching most of it, even though I don't remember much at all. But recently I came across this lot of recentness in like 3 months ago, I guess. I came across a lot of its shorts, a lot of it in the short content, and it was bit deranged, right? Like it was wholesome, it was like what you think it would be in Cartoon Network, but they'd sneak in this deranged moment, and it was very creative and very up to date with the generation, pet like that. So I was like, maybe. So of course I watched it, and damn, this is one of its own type of show. My first reason to think is that in this world of Gumball, there are many different type of beings out there. There's an animated being, there's a 3D being, there's a banana, there's this angel thing, there's this upside down chin thing, which I didn't know at first, but later on they revealed it, and maybe this might be a spoiler, but it's not a big deal. And there's a puppet, there's like a food material that walk and talk, such as banana, as I said, and donut. These two are like more appealing characters. And for some reason, and potato, vegetables, like everything is there that has their own that are sentient. And the weird part is that these food materials eat their own kind, but the smaller version of it. Like this donut love eating donut, and for obvious reason they made him the cop. And in animated characters, there are like Gumball, who is some sort of cat, and his best friend is a fish, and his sister is a rabbit, and his father too is also a rabbit, and his mother like same as him, some sort of cat, like some sort of anthropomorphic beings. And by the way, when I told that there are food materials that walk and talk and eat their own kind, similar, there are stamp looking things that walk and talk, and this stack of papers looking thing that also talks and walks, and their job, they work in sectors that involve this kind of stuff to be used. So they use their petite version to do their job with. It's interesting. And to make matter more weirder, for some reason the supposed non-living things such as chair or shower or TV or washing machine have their own consciousness, and there was an episode where all the residents of the were enslaved by this thing, and the roles were reversed, that they become them and them become they. And this is where this interesting line came from.
Are you happy now? I've got to spend the rest of my days as an easel.
It's alright for you. I just gotta hope he doesn't want to sharpen that pencil again.
I suppose that I don't know if you're supposed to have that in Cartoon Network. And it's not even the weirder episode. It's not even the more weirder episode of this series. It's like more contained one. My second reason is that for me to think that it's one of its own kind, and you might not see anything like this, is that they have a lot of anime reference. If any Cartoon Network shows, of all the Cartoon Network shows I have watched, this one has the most. And you can tell that they're just putting an anime version out there and that's it. But nah, they have made a separated anime version of an episode, like an episode only built doing anime. An episode that has been drawn like an anime, which is just fight between Gumball's mom and this person, and they just an episode, not an episode, but a scene, which is all animated. Like literally, it was just out of anime. And that's not the only thing. Even the show itself, that even when they are not animated like anime, they still have that anime characteristic to them. That is their face. They have this. The face structure is more similar to the face structure in Karen Shinchan, and they even have that dotted eyes thing they do when there's something dumb happens. Yup, that is also that also is done in Karen Shinchan. So yeah, they're like very much, they have this anime character type of expressive thing they use that for normal gags. It's not even like they're like ripping out of anime, like, oh, this is how they do it in anime and like do their stuff. It's more like they actually use that in the usual facial expression they do. Basically, it feels like some of the anime expressions are just coded into this show. And there are episodes where they acknowledge their own fan arts. Yes, they have their own panels. Looks like it was done by Fujiyoshi. My third reason is that they seem like they were supposed to be added in Adult Swim, but because of how wholesome they sometimes get, it seems like the idea was scratched and was put in PG setting of cartoon. Like there are many, but they still can't contain themselves to become PG, and sometimes some weird shit sneaks out. There are many episodes that I've seen that does not seem like PG at all, like the one episode with Robinson where they're doing all this. Then this really touchy camouflage with this hairy thing which they thought was of the principal pet's rat, but it was actually principal's body hair that was ripped out by the principal, which for some reason he did it in front of Gumball and Darwin. The reason why they were there was he called them in and he kind of forgot it, so he was like ripping his body hair out and was like this in front of them, like a quite weird thing to do in front of a student. And then he takes out this rat in the cage, which is his pet, and he wanted them to take care of him while he's away, and they at first were like reluctant about it, but then he strike a deal, and they were like, alright, we're listening. And then he went out to do something. Then when they are not paying attention, when he was out for some reason for some time, this guy broke out of the cage, this rat broke out of the cage, and that hair that the principal ripped out, it was laying down on the ground. And this guy took that hair, yes, that hair, put it in his place in the cage, and then he closed the cage, and then he ran away. So he escaped, but in his place was hair that was principal's hair. His chest hair, his body hair, and nipple hair, everything is there. Yes, his nipple and everything is there, and this was taken by the Darwin and Gumball and Darwin, which they didn't notice at all that there was a change in there. Like, how dumb you gotta be, man. I guess they don't even know what route looks like. Anyways, they took it in, and then that hair somehow, some way helped them in their personal problems, and that's why they built a connection with that, and they were having montage of bonding. They were kissing it, hugging it, doing so much crazy shit with it that, mind you forget what I said before, that it is principal's hair that they were kissing, and some of it went into their mouth, into their teeth, yeah. And Like sometimes I wonder that if it was for Cartoon Network or not. Cause that was crazy, man. Like they were not holding back on certain scenes, I guess. Like this is all on the, like there are even sentence like
You stole his mom!
What? You said to take something he likes.
Something, not someone! Have you gone totally nuts?
Did I go too far?
bro still questioning if he has gone too far. Like damn. Bro is the unintentional villain, if you know what I mean. Because there are episodes where he has unintentionally become a villain. Yeah, that's it. And the meta commentary on this show, dude, is on a different level. They have plot revolving around the meta commentary. Right, like the meta commentary is that they're in a TV, and sometimes there are moments where the irrelevant thing in the TV shows are taken out. They're like suddenly disappear, and nobody talks about it, or nobody even makes a comment that this person is changed, or this person now it doesn't exist at all. And in that show, when that happens, they will be put into void, and in the void there's like a lot of irrelevant stuff. Even this character, right? Her name is, I think, something, and she was quite boring that they put her into void. Like it literally meaning that they kind of removed her from the TV show, and they then make some meta commentary over that and makes the whole episode over that. So it's an interesting idea, right? And that's one of its thing. The other thing is that there is like an episode where there's called as regarding signal loss, I guess what they call it is weak signals. Like when you're watching YouTube, when you're watching TV, if there is a weak signal, start to like stuck in, alright. Yeah, that had to happen to them, right? And they were aware that this was happening to them. They were making this whole episode where their signal was not going through, and just like in the TV, they're also experiencing that. Maybe they're also in the TV. Such a revelation they were having, and this whole episode was about that. And there was even another episode where they were like, they never. Normally, they do face the consequence of their action, but not to an extent that they need to. Like sometimes, Gumball's father, Richard, drives car like in a very unhinged way. His car doesn't go in straight line, it goes in fourth dimension if it want to. It goes in zig, it flies. It doesn't go, sometimes it's not even on the road, sometimes it's flying. It's jumping from one car to another car, crushing it. Like the damage he has done is more than what Marvel superheroes or superheroes do to their public stuff in their how do I say it? Do in their world. It's kind of crazy, but he never got a receipt for that. But in this episode, he did. In this episode, him and these two kids too, they were all done some horrendous stuff, but they never got like receipt for that. But this time, that is not happening in this episode, and people are like now are like at front of their front yard with pitchforks and all for the bad shit they have done and about to kill them. They're literally in the devilman crybaby situation right now. And like but they're like it seems like there's no escape like every time they had. But at the end, Gumball says something like, if there is some, I don't know, I can't say it like how they say it because English is not my first language. But he says something along the line like, we can always be saved by some exterior power that makes that this never happened at all. And the episode ends. And the next episode is that they're never going to talk about what happened before. Like they literally, it never happened. So basically, this is a type of meta commentary. This shows that they involve plot in it. Like it's not just like one-liners or anything. There's literally a story revolving around that. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. Like they are experimenting a lot of shit with their shows. It's a very experimenting type of shows, and I like that shit. Like it makes it fresh. Even the memes, the internet culture they do, they create their own memes, their own internet. They don't like bring in from something out there, which is not a bad thing. I work with that. People hate it because it's like, they're just putting that in and saying that, oh, look at you guys, you like this, right? I also like this kind of moment. I like, this shit. But this guy does it in a way that it is their own thing, right? Like rather than it was done from like other way, like their own internet in their own inside world, and the way people react to that rather than it being that. It's an interesting way. I vibe with that. Yeah, there are more things to say about it, but of all the videos I did, I don't want this to be having the longest video for it. But yeah, whatever.